This 1904 photo shows workers constructing Joseph Rowntree's factory on Haxby Road, Yorkshire. Rowntree, a visionary in ethical business and social responsibility, designed the factory to be a supportive community for his employees. Before long, this facility would produce iconic products, including the Kit Kat and Aero bars. In April 1899, the crew of the German ship Valdivia received a unique gift from the people of the Seychelles, giant turtles which were valued as both a delicacy and a vital food source on long-sea voyages. The Valdivia, engaged in oceanographic research in the Indian Ocean, found this gift to be a warm gesture of hospitality from the local community. In 1892, Alexander Graham Bell made history by demonstrating long-distance communication with a groundbreaking call that connected New York and Chicago, a feat that symbolized the dawn of modern telecommunications. This achievement came just over a decade after his invention of the telephone in 1876, displaying the rapid advancement of technology. Charles Rigoulot was a legendary figure in France, a weightlifter, wrestler, and resistance hero. Known for his daring spirit, Rigoulot once landed himself in prison after punching a Nazi, but the cell couldn't contain him. Bending the iron bars, he escaped, freed other inmates, and knocked out another Nazi guard in the process, embodying the spirit of defiance. In February 1926, archaeologist Howard Carter and his team were on the verge of making history as they prepared to open the mummy of King Tutankhamun. Discovered in 1922, the tomb of the young pharaoh held a wealth of treasures and secrets, revealing the splendor of ancient Egyptian burial practices. On October 27, 1944, the Northrop N-9 M2 airplane was tested in a wind tunnel at the NACA Ames Research Center in California, exemplifying the bold innovations in aviation design during World War II. This experimental flying wing, conceived by Jack Northrop, was created to test the advantages of tailless aircraft, which offered potential improvements in aerodynamic efficiency and performance. A worker operating a winch in a logging camp in Tillamook County, Oregon, October 1941. Known as donkey punchers, these skilled operators used steam-powered winches to haul logs from remote areas. Their work was a crucial part of the logging industry during World War II. In 1916, amidst the challenging Gallipoli campaign of World War I, Australian soldiers captured a Turkish sniper camouflaged as a cannabis bush. This clever disguise underscored the ingenuity used by combatants to survive and navigate the harsh conditions of the battlefield. Gallipoli was a critical front as Allied forces sought to break through Ottoman defenses and secure a vital supply route to Russia. In Bondi, Sydney, 1942, a man inspects the damage left by a shelling attack, a chilling sign of World War II's impact on Australian soil. The Japanese submarine assaults on Sydney Harbour and surrounding neighbourhoods stirred fears of invasion, prompting Australians to fortify their communities and prepare for possible threats. This circa 1930 photo captures the Bunun people of the Laipunuk tribe, one of Taiwan's indigenous groups, celebrated for their rich traditions and skills. Known for their expert hunting abilities and complex polyphonic singing, the Bunun people have made a lasting impact on the cultural landscape of Taiwan's indigenous history. British wrestler Ivy Russell, pictured here in 1934, trained intensively for her championship bout against Peggy Parnell at Lanes Club in London. This clash on Baker Street symbolized a turning point in women's wrestling, as more female athletes broke barriers and proved their talent in a traditionally male-dominated sport. On September 22, 1931, Mahatma Gandhi arrived in London to attend the Round Table Conference, a crucial moment in India's fight for independence from British rule. Clad in his simple loincloth, Gandhi captivated the British public and officials with his message of non-violent resistance and civil rights for Indians. In 1916, amid the turmoil of World War I, Czechs in London gathered to welcome Peter I of Serbia. This event highlighted the interconnected aspirations of various nations, as Peter I, who would later become the King of Yugoslavia in 1918, championed the unification of South Slavic peoples, including Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes. During the Universal Exhibition on August 19, 1900, Paris held the International Angling Competition as part of the Olympic events. With a jury member in a top hat noting each contestant's catch, this one-of-a-kind competition blended sportsmanship with a refined Parisian flair. In October 1898, General Maximo Gomez, the commander-in-chief of the Cuban forces, visited the Narcissa sugar refinery in Yaguacay. This site was crucial during the Cuban War of Independence against Spanish rule. Gomez, a key leader in the struggle for Cuba's freedom, inspired both troops and locals, embodying the Cuban people's resilience and hope for independence. In 1938, the Tibetan Monlam cavalry stood as a unique symbol of Tibet's military tradition, deeply intertwined with its cultural heritage. These mounted warriors not only defended their homeland, but also upheld the values of Tibetan Buddhism, serving as protectors during a period of growing geopolitical tensions. On June 21, 1919, during the Winnipeg General Strike, workers tipped a streetcar off its tracks in an intense protest known as Bloody Saturday. This dramatic act was in response to the arrest of strike leaders and symbolized the frustration of the working class. The day ended tragically, with 2 people killed and 30 others injured. The strike, a pivotal moment in Canadian labor history, concluded 4 days later. King Umberto I and Queen Margherita of Italy, who ruled from 1878 to 1900, were celebrated figures in Italian history. Queen Margherita, often called the People's Queen, was deeply involved in social causes and education, while Umberto's reign symbolized progress toward a unified Italy. In 1897, Lakota men Sleeping Bear and Turning Eagle faced the camera with pride, while Pulls the Arrow Out stood turned away, symbolizing the Lakota Nation's rich cultural heritage in South Dakota. This photograph reflects a period when Native American tribes were enduring the pressures of westward expansion and United States government policies aimed at assimilation, which threatened their traditional ways of life. In October 1944, the people of Riga, the capital of Soviet Latvia, welcomed Red Army soldiers with open arms, celebrating their liberation from German occupation during World War II. For many, the arrival of the Red Army symbolized a return of hope as the citizens of Riga looked forward to rebuilding their lives and restoring their cultural identity after the war's devastation. Leola N. King made history as the first female traffic cop in the United States, serving from 1918 to 1920 in Washington, D.C. Her pioneering role emerged during a period when women were increasingly stepping into non-traditional jobs, especially as World War I created new opportunities in the workforce. At the 1936 Olympic Games in Berlin, Jesse Owens made history by breaking the world record in the 200-meter race. This stunning achievement showcased his extraordinary athleticism and speed. Competing in an environment filled with Nazi propaganda and racial tensions, Owens's triumph as an African-American athlete challenged the prevailing notions of racial superiority and became a symbol of hope and resilience. On October 27, 1914, the crew of the Royal Navy battleship His Majesty's Ship Audacious found themselves in a perilous situation after striking a German mine off the coast of County Donegal, Ireland. This incident marked one of the first significant losses for the fleet in World War I, highlighting the dangers of naval warfare and the evolving tactics employed by both sides.